Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the lives of history's most fascinating figures, and I'm your host, General Biography. Today, we're going to explore the remarkable life of Giuseppe Mazzini, a name that may not be as well known as some of his contemporaries, but whose impact on modern Italian history and the broader world of politics is nothing short of profound. Mazzini was a man of unwavering conviction, a visionary who dedicated his life to the cause of Italian unification and the principles of democracy, liberty, and human rights. As we embark on this journey through Mazzini's life, imagine yourself standing in the midst of 19th century Genoa, surrounded by the majestic architecture of a city that has been a crossroads of cultures for centuries. The air is alive with the sound of merchants hawking their wares, the smell of fresh seafood wafting from the harbor, and the distant clang of hammering on metal from the workshops of skilled artisans. It was in this vibrant, bustling city on June 22, 1805, that Giuseppe Mazzini entered the world amidst the tumultuous backdrop of Napoleon's expanding empire. Mazzini's father, Giacomo Mazzini, was a physician with strong Republican sympathies who had witnessed firsthand the brutal suppression of dissent by the French authorities. His mother, Maria Drago, came from a family of modest means but significant cultural influence, with a deep love for literature and music that would later shape her son's intellectual pursuits. This blend of medical professionalism, intellectual curiosity, and political activism would profoundly shape young Giuseppe's worldview, instilling in him a strong sense of social justice and a desire to challenge the status quo. As Mazzini grew older, he began to exhibit a keen interest in literature and philosophy, pursuing his studies with vigor at the University of Genoa. Here, he was particularly drawn to the works of Vittorio Alfieri and Ugo Foscolo, Italian writers who embodied the spirit of national pride and resistance against foreign rule. These literary figures not only influenced Mazzini's intellectual development, but also instilled in him a deep sense of patriotism and a desire for Italy's liberation from foreign domination. He spent countless hours poring over their writings, imagining a future where Italy was united, free, and strong. The historical context of Mazzini's early years was defined by the Congress of Vienna, which had redrawn the map of Europe following Napoleon's defeat. Italy, once again, found itself fragmented into several states, with many under the control of the Austrian Empire. This political landscape fueled the simmering fires of nationalism and liberalism among Italians, who began to organize in secret societies, advocating for unity and independence. The air was thick with tension, as whispers of rebellion and revolution spread from town to town, and Mazzini's generation began to see themselves as the vanguard of a new era. Mazzini's formative years were also marked by personal loss and hardship. His health was fragile, and he suffered from bouts of illness that would plague him throughout his life. Despite these challenges, his intellectual pursuits and political engagements only deepened, laying the groundwork for his future as a leading figure in the Risorgimento, Italy's struggle for unification. He found solace in his studies, poring over the works of Enlightenment thinkers like Rousseau and Voltaire, and beginning to formulate his own ideas about the role of the individual in shaping history. The year 1820 marked a significant turning point in Mazzini's life, as he became involved with the Carbonari, a secret society dedicated to Italian unity and liberty. This involvement not only reflected his growing political consciousness, but also signaled the beginning of his active participation in the movement that would define his life's work. As Mazzini navigated the complex and dangerous world of early 19th century Italian politics, he began to formulate the ideas and strategies that would make him a pivotal figure in the quest for Italian independence and democracy. In these early years, we see the emergence of a man driven by an unshakable belief in the power of human will and the importance of collective action towards a common goal. The seeds of revolution were being sown, and Mazzini, with his unwavering commitment to the cause of Italian unity, was about to embark on a path that would lead him to challenge the established order, inspire a generation, and forever change the course of history. As Mazzini's involvement with the Carbonari deepened, he found himself at the forefront of a burgeoning movement that sought to challenge the status quo and usher in a new era of Italian unity and liberty. The year 1830 marked a significant milestone in his journey as he founded the journal L'Indépendente in Marseille, France, where he had fled to escape persecution by the Austrian authorities. This publication served as a powerful platform for Mazzini to disseminate his ideas and rally support for the Italian cause, with its pages filled with passionate pleas for unity, liberty, and independence. The city of Marseille, with its rich history of revolutionary fervor and its proximity to the Italian border, proved to be an ideal location for Mazzini's endeavors. As he navigated the narrow streets and bustling ports of the city, he was surrounded by a diverse array of individuals who shared his passion for liberty and his desire for change. Mazzini's time in France was also marked by his interactions with other prominent figures of the era, including the French writer and historian Alexis de Tocqueville. Their conversations, which took place in the salons of Paris, would have a profound impact on Mazzini's thought as he grappled with the complexities of democracy and the role of the individual in shaping history. De Tocqueville's own writings on the subject, particularly his seminal work, Democracy in America, would later influence Mazzini's conception of a unified Italian state. As they sat in the elegant drawing rooms of Paris, surrounded by the trappings of aristocratic privilege, Mazzini and de Tocqueville engaged in lively debates about the nature of democracy and the future of Europe. De Tocqueville's insights into the American experiment, with its emphasis on individual liberty and representative government, resonated deeply with Mazzini, who saw parallels between the American experience and the struggles of the Italian people. Their discussions were not limited to abstract theory, however, as they also delved into the practical challenges of building a democratic movement in a country marked by fragmentation and foreign domination. In 1831, Mazzini founded the organization Giovine Italia, Young Italy, which aimed to galvanize the youth of Italy into action and provide a framework for coordinated resistance against foreign rule. This movement quickly gained momentum, with branches springing up across the Italian peninsula and attracting adherents from all walks of life. As Mazzini wrote in one of his most famous manifestos, the mission of the Giovine Italia is not merely to free Italy from the yoke of foreigners, but to create a new Italy, an Italy that is strong, united, and just. The Giovine Italia was more than simply a political organization. It was a cultural and social movement that sought to inspire a sense of national identity and shared purpose among the Italian people. Through its network of secret cells and clandestine meetings, the organization provided a platform for young Italians to come together, share their ideas, and plan collective action. Mazzini's own charisma and rhetorical skills played a significant role in mobilizing support for the movement as he traveled throughout Italy, delivering impassioned speeches and rallying his fellow countrymen to the cause. Throughout the 1830s, Mazzini continued to agitate for Italian unity, using his writings and his organizational skills to mobilize support and coordinate action. He played a key role in the uprising in Savoy in 1834, which, although ultimately unsuccessful, helped to galvanize opposition to Austrian rule and pave the way for future rebellions. Mazzini's own health continued to be fragile, but his spirit remained unbroken, driven as he was by an unwavering commitment to the cause of Italian liberation. As the years passed, Mazzini's reputation as a leading figure in the Risorgimento grew, and he became increasingly recognized as a champion of democracy and liberty. His ideas about the importance of popular sovereignty, national unity, and individual freedom resonated with people across Europe, and his influence extended far beyond the borders of Italy. In 1848, as revolution swept across the continent, Mazzini was at the forefront of the movement, helping to shape the course of events in Italy and beyond. In Rome, where he had established himself as a key player in the city's tumultuous politics, Mazzini played a crucial role in the establishment of the Roman Republic in 1849. As one of the leaders of this short-lived but significant experiment in democratic government, Mazzini worked tirelessly to promote the values of liberty, equality, and justice, and to create a new model for Italian governance that would serve as a beacon for future generations. Though the Roman Republic was ultimately crushed by French troops, Mazzini's vision for a unified, democratic Italy lived on, inspiring countless others to take up the mantle of the Risorgimento and push forward towards a brighter future. The Roman Republic, though fleeting, represented a significant milestone in the struggle for Italian unity and self-determination. As Mazzini and his fellow leaders navigated the complexities of governance and diplomacy, they faced numerous challenges, from the opposition of conservative forces to the difficulty of balancing competing interests and ideologies. Despite these obstacles, the Roman Republic remained a powerful symbol of the potential for democratic governance in Italy, and its legacy continued to inspire generations of Italian patriots. As the Roman Republic fell, Mazzini was forced into exile once again, this time in London, where he would spend the remainder of his life amidst the foggy streets and intellectual fervor of the British capital. Despite the setbacks, he continued to advocate for Italian unity and independence with unwavering passion, writing prolifically and maintaining a strong network of contacts across Europe through a series of clandestine letters and coded messages. His later works, such as The Duties of Man, showcased his commitment to democratic principles and social justice, earning him recognition as a leading thinker of his time and cementing his reputation as a champion of human rights. In the dimly lit rooms of his London exile, Mazzini's mind continued to simmer with revolutionary ideas, fueled by the injustices he had witnessed in his native Italy. His writings from this period are infused with a sense of urgency and moral purpose, reflecting his deepening understanding of the interconnectedness of national liberation and individual freedom. As he pored over the pages of his manuscripts, the scratching of his pen on paper seemed to echo with the whispers of his fellow exiles, all striving for a common goal, the rebirth of Italy as a unified and sovereign nation. In his final years, Mazzini's health began to decline, but his spirit remained unbroken, like a beacon shining brightly in the darkness. He continued to write and agitate for the cause of Italian liberation, even as the movement he had helped spark began to bear fruit. The news of the Second Italian War of Independence, which broke out in 1859, brought a mix of emotions, joy at the prospect of his people finally achieving freedom, but also sorrow that he would not live to see the ultimate victory of the Italian people. As Mazzini's life drew to a close, he reflected on the struggles and triumphs of his long and eventful career, his eyes gazing into the distance as if searching for the ghosts of his past. In a moment of profound introspection, he uttered words that would capture the essence of his lifelong commitment to the principles of democracy, national unity, and individual freedom. A country is not saved by its leaders, but by the devotion of its citizens. Spoken with the weight of experience and the conviction of a true believer, distilled the wisdom of a lifetime spent in the pursuit of justice and liberty. On March 10, 1872, Giuseppe Mazzini passed away in Pisa, Italy, surrounded by his friends and admirers, who had gathered to pay their respects to the man who had inspired a nation. The news of his passing sent shockwaves throughout Europe, as leaders and activists from all corners of the continent mourned the loss of a giant, a man whose unwavering commitment to his ideals had inspired generations to strive for a better world. Today, Mazzini is remembered as a champion of Italian independence and a pioneering thinker on democratic governance, his legacy extending far beyond the borders of Italy to influence movements for national liberation and democracy across Europe and around the world. Mazzini's character was forged in the fire of struggle and adversity, his unwavering commitment to his ideals tempered by the trials and tribulations he faced throughout his life. His place in history is secure, not only as a key figure in the Risorgimento, but also as a visionary thinker who helped shape the course of modern democracy. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.